Cleveland Ford Dealers and Ford Trucks, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years.
All right, 112-102, your final score as the Celtics fall to the Atlanta Hawks. They trailed by as many as 21 early in that fourth quarter. So he's able to kind of scratch and claw a little bit there to get back within, I think 7 was really the closest that we saw down the stretch. But Atlanta just too much as we get into it. Tom Giles, Chris Forsberg, Eddie House, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on what you saw tonight?
Well, one of those games, turning the ball over, not making shots, not moving the basketball. We had 19 assists. Yeah, cool. But we had 15 turnovers. We turning the ball. And you know what? That's something that could come and bite us in the playoffs. And you heard it here first. We've been turning the basketball over at a high clip, the last few weeks. And we got to be, more aware of taking care of the basketball. And I know other teams are going to force turnovers, but live ball turnovers usually hurt you. And we've had a lot of live ball turnovers. We've had some turnovers to where they were unforced, to where we forced them ourselves, making bad plays and things like that. But, give credit to Atlanta. They came out, they played hard. They know exactly what happened the last game, and they didn't want it to happen. They're playing for their playoff lives. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you can't get mad at what's happening.
I'd love to crumple this one up and just say it's like schedule loss and all that, but no, Celtics were just bad for long stretches of this game. JB clearly had rust out of the gates, the turnovers, like the blown defensive assignments. Joe spent better part of a quarter screaming at Ugo and Amari about being out of position and felt like they didn't like certainly nothing about the third quarter was good either. So look, when Charles Bassey has the coolest sequence of your night, probably not going to tip your way. Good for JB to kind of hang in there and get a little bit of momentum at the finish line, even with it was a false comeback there. And they just got to kind of move past it. But, yeah, I'm with Eddie. Like, there's some stuff they got to clean up. Haven't forced a lot of turnovers recently. They're turning the ball over too much. Some of that margin stuff that Joe really cares about, they've got to just get a little bit better. And yet, when they have the full complement of players, it's a little bit easier.
On the flip side, Atlanta had 6 guys in double figures in this one, and that's how they snapped the Celtics' 3-game win streak. So 2 down, 2 to go here on this road trip. They got Miami Wednesday before Milwaukee on Friday. Let's get back out to the 2 guys that called the game tonight, Drew Carter, Cedric Maxwell. And you guys mentioned it at the end of the broadcast. It came down to that third quarter. What was it that allowed Atlanta to take that 14-point lead going into the fourth?
I think it was basically turnovers. As Eddie was saying, live ball turnovers will hurt you. Opportunities, maybe not moving the ball as much, trusting other guys tonight. And they just got a little bit funky. We saw Garza was really good in attacking and going towards the rim, but not enough of that in that third quarter where they needed to solidify things. And we talk about another thing we didn't talk about, second night of a back-to-back with a team. And where does it normally show? It normally shows itself in the second half, in the third quarter where legs start to get a little tired.
Yeah, I thought the Celtics played okay in the first half to have that game tied at halftime. But like you said, Max, the third quarter certainly the difference. And the Celtics with 15 turnovers, maybe a number that is above their season average, but might not jump off the page. But it's about the live ball turnovers where the Celtics have been by far the best team in the league in that category. Atlanta's a team that will crush you if you give them the ball and it's live.
I truly believe that, Willie. I think that when you did say your name was William, right?
You were just waiting for that. I could have said anything. I could have made the most astute basketball point ever.
You're right. You're right. I was ready to jump on it, but you're right. When you think about playing a game like this, and the Hawks have won 12 in a row at home.
Yes.
You know you have to come in with your best game, offensively and defensively. You did not have that tonight if you're the Celtics, and if you turn the ball over to a team that is playing well, and then you talk about another thing, Daniels, out of the blue, hits 2 threes, and you said he's shooting 15% right now from the three-point line. So there were some things that happened really well for the Hawks and not so well for the Celtics.
Yeah, and, Jaylen Brown, even though he did have 2 games off, I really feel like he struggled with Dyson Daniels tonight. And maybe it's rust. Maybe he's not feeling 100%. I don't know what it is, but there's no shame in that. Dyson Daniels is a first-team all-defense type of guy. But we've seen JB be much better than that pretty much every game.
He tries to will itself.
Yeah.
And tonight couldn't will itself because they were sitting back waiting for him to do certain things. Luka Garza helped him out where it's insulated them by, maybe moving the basketball, him knocking down threes. But other than that, there were a lot of times they were very stagnant in what they were doing tonight.
And it tells you what kind of season Jaylen Brown has had, that we're saying it wasn't, a good night for him when he had 29, 10, and 9. He didn't shoot it well. He did have some turnovers. But, look, Giles, I wish I could have called a win with my buddy Brian here in Atlanta. But
couldn't wait for that, could you?
Nah,
you're going to get that middle name in somehow. I could have made the most astute comment, and you're coming back, because you are I'm gonna get you back, dude. That's who you are. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, fellas.
That's who I am.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You brought up Jaylen Brown there. He was 9 of 29. Made some shots down the stretch to kind of close the gap. But Celtics fall in this one. 112-102 your final score. Now 50-25 on the season. Atlanta moves to 10 games above 500. We got plenty more to come here on Celtics Post Game Live right after this.
Celtics Post Game Live is presented by your New England Ford dealers and Ford Trucks, America's best-selling trucks for 49 years.
Let's get to the steal of the game, which is brought to you by Stop & Shop with more than 10,000 items on sale every week. It's easy to make winning plays at Stop & Shop. Unfortunately, the winning plays coming from the Atlanta Hawks in this one. So there's your steal of the game. Onyeka Okongwu had 3 steals in this one. Was also named the player of the game. He had 20 points, 10 rebounds. Nice give and go there.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so that's one of those live ball turnovers.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like showing that. We had to have one steal that we could have showed that we did. I don't like seeing the other team get no steal and
all right,
go down and have a bucket. I'm sorry.
But to your point,
Not
Eddie,
sorry.
To your point, this came down to live ball turnovers. We've talked about it at length already, so let's go through that third.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do. Celtics fall in this game, and why was the difference in the third where they were outscored by 14 points. And you take a look at some of the plays that you saw from Atlanta and some of the missed shots that you'll see from the Celtics coming up in a little bit here as well. But Chris, then I'll start with you. What did you think really changed?
Honestly, I just thought it was weird. I thought the Celtics, after they turned the ball over so much in the first half, they'd kind of go into halftime and be like, man, it's a miracle you're still within the tied game coming out of the half. And instead of turning it up a little bit, they just went the other way. And I thought the defensive intensity was lacking. I mean, just wandering away from shooters. And I know Amari Williams hasn't played a lot, and he's getting thrown into a tough position here in these minutes, but just everyone was a step slow. They just lacked the sort of pizzazz, and maybe that should be expected on the second night of a back-to-back. But Atlanta got wherever it wanted. It made the Celtics uncomfortable on the other end. And when Mr. 15.5% is knocking down threes, good luck.
And that's Dyson Daniels you're talking about there, who was 2 of 3 from behind the arc. That certainly helps their case, as Atlanta was 15 of 38 overall. Meanwhile, you take a look at the Celtics were 5 of 20 from the field in that third. And again, it's the missed shots, the turnovers, all leading to easier buckets for Atlanta. And as we go through some of that video, Eddie, I guess what I really want to know is, was this more about the job that Atlanta, was doing defensively, or the Celtics just not having it tonight? Or a combination of both?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. I think that we just didn't have it. We were step slow, like Forsberg said. We didn't have our full squad. Nimi wasn't out there to get some of those rebounds, because they were getting offensive rebounds that Nimi normally would clean up. Also on the flip side of that, Jayson Tatum, another guy that could put the ball on the floor, score the basketball in different ways. But there's no excuse. It's just the way it is in the NBA. You playing so many games, and it does wear on you. And this is one of those games. You came to Atlanta on a back-to-back. Nobody felt sorry about the Hornets last night after they've been playing so damn good. And we took it to them when they came into Boston last night, and we handled business, right? Mm-hmm. Or did they come into Boston? Or Charlotte. Whatever it was. Yeah, when we were in Charlotte, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? When we played Charlotte, nobody felt sorry for them. So nobody feels sorry for you. You just got to, look, learn, and then move on. And that's all you can do, because it is another game on Wednesday, and it's another real game on Wednesday. It's not a game that's, you can take lightly. So I look at it as, hey, okay, one of these games where we weren't full strength, no excuses. We still had opportunity. We were tied at halftime. We just didn't get the job done. So that's basically how I feel about it, and it happens like that in a 82 game season.
And you would have thought, right, like, okay, so this doesn't have the glitz of the recent stretch, right? Like, at least against Charlotte, you felt like you had a little motivation, pay them back a little bit. OKC last week, obviously. And then, tonight I just thought they would get a jolt from Derek and Jaylen Brown being back out there, and neither looked themselves, at least in the early going. Jaylen got cranked it up a little bit at the end, but